Hello everyone, it is me, Dr. Laserbeam, and this is League of Legends 101, where I go over certain parts of the game, League of Legends. Today we'll be going over how to play Bard, the Wandering Caretaker, or as I like to call him, Hershel's second life. Bard is one of League of Legends' most unique champions Riot has ever released. His massive utility and high skill cap makes him a very fun champion to play, but very team dependent, making him rather bad for solo queue. Pros to Bard are excellent utility, great scaling, good sustain, fast as Sonic, great team fighter, good bodyguard, and a great playmaker. Cons to Bard are he has a high skill cap, he is very team dependent, easy to screw up with, and control teammates. Bard works well with ADCs that can play safe early game, have long range, or are self-reliant. Such ADCs are Caitlyn, Varus, Lucian, and Sivir. Bard is strong against supports who are not very aggressive or act as bodyguards. Such supports are Taric, Janna, Alistar, and Tahm Kench. Bard is strong against ADCs who have little escape or depends on kiting to outplay his or her opponents. Such ADCs are Ashe, Vayne, Jinx, and Varus. Bard is weak against ADCs who can dodge or deny Bard's skill shots. Such ADCs are Sivir, Lucian, Graves, and Kalista. Bard is also weak against supports who can go ham when Bard is roaming or found in a bad position. Such supports are Thresh, Blitzcrank, Leona, and Morgana. For Bard's runes, I suggest getting a good mix of health, armor, and magic resist runes. Make sure to adjust according to your matchup. For Bard's masteries, I suggest putting most of your points into utility and some into defense. The first items you should get as Bard is an ancient coin, health pots, and a warding totem. Go with Spellthief's Edge if you plan on being aggressive, but switch out for an ancient coin later if you do so. The only must-have items for Bard would be a Ruby Sightstone and Boots of Mobility. If you plan on being aggressive, items to consider would be Righteous Glory, Banner of Command, Ohm-Wrecker, Zeke's Harbinger, and the Twin Shadows. If you plan on being defensive, items to consider would be Locket of the Iron Salami, Mikael's Crucible, Frozen Heart, and Randuin's Omen. Your build should be focused on utility, defense, and mana. Now onto Bard's abilities. First we have his passive, which is Traveler's Call. This passive acts like a minigame for Bard players. You go around the map collecting chimes, which are randomly spawned anywhere besides your base and the enemy's base. When you collect these chimes, they give you mana, XP, and a speed boost. In addition to this, Bard, for every 5 chimes he collects, gets an upgrade to his meeps. Meeps follow Bard around and empower Bard's basic attacks, which deal magic damage and slow the target that he attacks with. The upgrades vary, but include an extra meep, increased slow, or more damage. These really help Bard scale nicely into the late game, but don't think these chimes are love and life. As tempting as they are, only collect them for mana in lane or when you roam. Always give your priority to the ADC. Next we have Bard's Q, which is Cosmic Binding. Bard shoots some white voodoo magic in front of him. If it hits a target, it will deal magic damage and slow them. If the white voodoo magic hits, and it will pass through the target and act as if the target had casted the Q on himself. If it hits a minion, enemy champion, or terrain, both the original target and the secondary target will be stunned and dealt magic damage as well. How you use your Q will determine your playstyle with Bard. On the defensive hand, it can be used to protect your ADC with ease and stop MLG ganks from occurring in your lane. On the aggressive hand, it can be used to stun targets and set up for a friendly MLG gank from the jungler. A teleport from top, a pick, or a good trade also is possible. It is rather hard, however, to land this ability, so be wise when you use it. If you fail to hit a target with it, this may lead to an all-in by an aware enemy bot lane. Now we have Bard's W, which is Caretaker's Shrine. Bard calls in the Pope to create some holy ground, which heals allied champions. If you wait for it to charge, it will heal some more, but it can be destroyed by enemy champions if they step on it with their satanic ways. This is basically a heal but a stationary one. This can allow you to roam if your ADC is ahead by standing up in bot lane, and if the enemy bot lane is not a kill lane, it will be fine since the shrine should cover up any damage your ADC will take. In laning, it acts like any other heal. You can use this ability to heal somebody directly instead of placing as a shrine, but will heal so for much less. It's best to keep 2 in lane and 1 in jungle during the laning phase, and then 3 in jungle out of the laning phase, unless there is a standoff between the 2 teams. It should be noted that the heal also gives you a speed boost, and that you can have a max of 3 stationary shrines at a time. Using W directly on the ally while shrines are up will not destroy the other shrines. Now we have Bard's E, which is Magical Journey. Bard rips the fabric of the universe a new one, and opens a tunnel that both him, his allies, and his enemies may use. However, only Bard and his allies will get a speed boost upon exiting the tunnel. This ability is best used for MLG ganks or shortcuts for a pick or objective. While Bard can use it possibly as an MLG escape, enemies can also use it too, so it's best to use it as an escape when you know that the exit is in the area where the enemy team has no vision, or you or your team has CC to stop their advances upon exiting the tunnel. Also be wary for using Bard's tunnels for passage to an unwarded area. The enemy team may be waiting at the end and ready to make Bard's magical journey a magical journey to hell. Last we have Bard's ult, which is Tempered Fate. Bard sends his magic to an area which upon arrival puts all targets, ally and enemy alike, into stasis. Under stasis you can literally do nothing. This is a game-changing ult, which can make Bard a true American hero or a member of Team Coast. The best way to use Bard's ult is for aggressive reasons, such as picks since the room for error is much bigger. Finding 2 members that are out of position and ulting them can allow your team to get an Ez kill. In teamfighting, if you can take the tanks out of the teamfight and focus on the carries, you will probably win that teamfight. If you want to tower dive, ult the tower and then dive to avoid some damage from the tower. For defensive reasons, you can use it to freeze an objective if your team has a chance to get it, or if you can freeze an enemy if they are hunting one of your own down. It takes a lot of practice to even be remotely good with this ult, so make sure to train in normals with Bard's ult before bringing it into the ring and rank. Now onto the laning phases of Bard. First, we shall do the early game. During Bard's early game, you should play passive and as a bodyguard more like. Only roam if your wave is pushed up and you are confident in your ADC. Make sure to leave shrines around when you can and collect nearby chimes to restore your mana. If your jungler wishes to do some MLG ganks, using Tribush on either side and using your E on this terrain can produce great results. During the mid game, you should retain your role as a bodyguard, but make yourself have more freedom in collecting your chimes. Your ult should be crucial for your team's success in getting ahead, and if you find that you and your team are not doing very good, use it for disengage instead. During the late game, your role as support could be hands down the most important role, and could decide if your team wins or not. Bard late game is all about them ults and how well you can land them. If you land your ult on the front line of the enemy team or get a pick, it's GG. If you land an ult on no one, oh well, no big deal. If you land your ult on your teammates, however, bad game and uninstall. For spells, I suggest always bring in Flash plus Exhaust. This has been League of Legends 101. Let me know if you found this video to be helpful, and for all you Bard players out there, let's take our teammates on a magical journey to hell.